All right, we have some questions about
Well,
uh, collections and
sure.
charge-offs. So one item that's been in collections for years, not very high, but haven't paid it because honestly don't know whether it helps or hurts to pay it off. We were talking about
Sure.
that this week too.
Yeah, so the answer is it depends. The impact of the collection fades over time. Okay. So if it was a 1-year-old collection, it hurts you more than a 3, which hurts you more than a 5-year-old collection. And after 7 years, it falls off. So the one thing I want to get out of the way is paying the collection typically does not reduce your score because people are like, oh, there was recent activity or it was paid. They count the date of last activity as the last time you paid when it went delinquent. So paying it is not going to reduce your score. Now, here's the benefit of paying it. Most companies will not delete it if you pay it. Sometimes you can ask, and some of them will. And if they do, that's great. Then it's paid and it's gone. From a credit repair standpoint, with what we do, we remove paid and unpaid collections all the time. Unpaids are a little easier, but I remove tons of paid ones also. So I'd say if it's paid and you're able to remove it on your own or with help, then it makes sense. If it's just paid but not removed, it still is kind of good, but this is really important. The mortgage FICO score still counts paid collections against you. So if you're applying for a mortgage and you pay off a bunch of collections and they're still all on there, just marked as paid, your score may not budge that much. It might go up a little and not a lot. So that's one thing you want to keep in mind is if you can get it removed, that's going to be a lot more beneficial. Now, the other flip side of what I said, if you have a collection that's several $1,000s, you got to be aware of lawsuits because there are companies that buy these debts, they sue very aggressively. And we're here in LA County where I think the majority of the cases in civil court are debt collection cases now. And before the pandemic and even during the pandemic, now that things are reopening, they're filing very, very aggressively. So if you have a collection for like a credit card that was sold to another company and it's a few $1,000s, you may seriously want to consider settling it because they will go to court on those. And there are plenty of ways to fight them in court, but that'll cost you money with a lawyer and all. So that's the one caveat. If it's an older collection and maybe it's for a larger amount, you may consider paying it. But overall, if you can get it removed and while you pay it, that's great.
How do you get it removed?
Typically through the dispute process. I mean, through the credit repair process. Sometimes you just get lucky and you dispute it on your own. It comes off. Very often it doesn't. And the way that we approach it is all our letters are on an attorney letterhead. So I mean that's our unique thing. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but paid collections are a little easier to remove than unpaid. But yeah, you typically need to do some sort of dispute. If you call them up and say, hey, I know I paid this, can you remove it? They often won't. But if you dispute with them or with the credit bureaus, often you'll get it taken off. Yeah.
Mhm.